Alton Towers Scarefest is one of the longest running Halloween events in the UK. Scarefest as it's known today began way back in 2007, however some of the event's most popular attractions were inspired by mazes as far back as 2002. You're watching Theme Park Realm, and in this brand new series we're taking a look at the history of Alton Towers Scarefest.
Welcome to the sanctuary, in you go, off you pop!
Halloween has been celebrated at Alton Towers for many seasons at the resort. It was around the early 2000s that the park first started experimenting with Halloween attractions. Prior to 2002, the main attractions for Halloween at Alton Towers were simply shows, some of which took place inside the park's indoor ice rink attraction. In 2002, the park really started to expand its Halloween offering. The park started to brand their Halloween event as the Alton Towers Halloween Spooktacular. Terror of the Towers was the very first scare maze to open at the resort, and it's a name that you'll probably still recognise today. In fact, Terror of the Towers is the longest running scare maze series in the history of Alton Towers Resort. Along with Terror of the Towers, the 2002 event also featured 3 small Cadbury's event areas. The park was dressed in its usual Halloween theming, but this was expanded upon to include much more of the park than before. There was also roaming actors around the park, and much of the park's music and audio was also changed to play Halloween tracks such as Ghostbusters and the Monster Mash. The original Terror of the Towers actually began from the Towers Ruins archway facing X Sector. This led guests into the lower floors of the Towers Ruins. Guests would be taken up into the banqueting hall and through the long gallery before exiting into Her Ladyship's gardens. The maze consisted of a series of horror scenes. Guests would start with an introduction from a witch, sending you to cross paths with ghosts, caged ghouls and stilt-walking monsters. In its first year, the finale of the maze was literally just that. It featured dead ends, and guests could easily cross paths and end up going the wrong direction. A first for Alton Towers Resort was a minimum age restriction. Guests entering Terror of the Towers were only permitted to enter the maze if they were over the age of 12. These days, many of the attractions at Alton Towers are designed and created in-house. With Merlin now owning the park, they have a team of people specifically for designing many of the props you see in the park. Back in 2002, this wasn't possible. The original Terror of the Towers was created by Linton V. Harris. Linton has actually worked on many different attractions all over the world, including Thorpe Park, Dreamworld, and even Universal Studios. Overall, Terror of the Towers was very well received by guests, and it created a foundation for when Alton Towers would later go on to launch Scarefest. So 2002 was a very successful Halloween Spooktacular event for Alton Towers. They'd brought out their very first scare maze, they'd expanded theming across the whole park. It really was a success. But now let's have a look at 2003. After the success of the Alton Towers Halloween Spooktacular 2002, the park knew they had to bring back a scare maze for the 2003 season. The event itself in 2003 was very similar to the previous year. Of course, the park-wide theming was improved upon again, as it always is each year. Even now, it gets improved each year. It normally receives new props and new theming into new areas of the park. The main upgrade for 2003 was the Terror of the Towers maze itself. The maze was actually rebranded to Terror of the Towers Bloodfest Banquet. For Bloodfest Banquet, the whole theme of the maze was changed. It received a new storyline, introducing a bloodthirsty master as the attraction's main character. When entering the attraction, you were now greeted by a maid rather than the witch like in previous years. The maid would inform you that the master doesn't like to be kept waiting, and that you were late for dinner. The actual path through the towers contained a series of different scenes, just like in previous years, but each scene was gruesome and prepared guests for the dinner that you would be about to attend. The main attraction of the maze was in fact the banqueting hall. Here you would soon realise that you were in fact the meal of the evening. You would then be chased to be greeted by another maid. This second maid would be confused that you had survived, but reveal a secret door through a bookshelf. The bookshelf door led to a freezer with a series of body bags hanging. After the freezer, you would then enter the brand new finale to the attraction. The new finale consisted of a large cage. Guests would be attacked from all sides before being released and exiting the maze into Her Ladyship's gardens, just like in previous years. So Alton Towers Halloween Spooktacular 2003 was another huge success, very well received by guests, and everyone loved the new revamped and improved Terror of the Towers. Now unfortunately, despite its complete overhaul, Terror of the Towers would not return for the following seasons. In 2004, the Halloween event was scaled back due to management and budget issues inside the park. Many of the props from Terror of the Towers were actually used and placed around the park to enhance the park's theming, but unfortunately, the 2004 season didn't have any scare mazes at all. The park's Halloween Ice Show ran for its final year, and many of the leftover props were moved to Thorpe Park and Chessington World of Adventures to help enhance their Halloween offerings instead. In the next Scarefest history video, we will be taking a look at Halloween 2005 and beyond. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe. It's Halloween here at Theme Park Realm, and we can't wait for this new series to continue.